Hi, I'm Luce. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming the beginning of the year book tag that was made by Larry Reads, one of my faves. I thought this would be a fun video to film just to kind of go through my goals for this year and what I'm excited for this year, reading wise. So yeah, let's just get into it. So the first question is, how many books are you planning on reading in 2025? For the last, I think 4 years, have set my reading goal on Goodreads to 100 books. Because 100 books to me is like a realistic amount that I can read. Like normally I read over 100 books. In an ideal world, I would want to read like 125 to 150 books, but you know, life is hard as an adult. You don't have as much time to read. I'm a homeowner now, so I don't have as much free time as I would have perhaps had a couple years ago. So yeah, 100 books I think is definitely achievable, but my like stretch goal is like 125 to 150. Question 2 is a book you're likely to reread this year, and this is one that I have not read or reread for quite a few years, and it is one of my favorites, and that is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I have this really beautiful dust jacket on my copy. This is one of my favorite books. I read it back in, I think 2018 or 2017 actually. I think it was 2017 originally. I adore this book. It is a very kind of special book to me because this is one of the books back when I was not really reading a lot that really got me back into reading and really made me fall in love with reading again. I haven't reread this book for I think like 3 years, and I used to always read it every year. So this is one that I'm really determined to actually reread again this year. Question 3 is a priority read for 2025. Now, I did make a video which is my top 12 books to read in 2025. So I didn't want to just repeat books that I'd already put in there. I have 2 different ones. One of them is one that's slightly out of my comfort zone, not a book that I would like typically read, and one is very much in my comfort zone. The one that is very much in my comfort zone is Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mast. This is one that my friend Caitlin, again, if you've watched a couple of my videos, you will see that I talk about Caitlin's recommendations a lot. Caitlin read this and loved it. I know a lot of people are also really enjoying this series. It's a Greek mythology inspired one. I believe that our main girlie is Hercules in this one. And I think it's reverse harem. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's reverse harem. I think also from what I've heard, people were expecting this first one to be like really spicy. And I don't think it is spicy like at all. So that makes me think it's going to be like a slow burn, which I'm very excited for. And then the other one is Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson. Now, this kind of comes into a question that I'm going to answer in a little bit, but I do want to read more out of my comfort zone this year, and this one I thought would be a good one to go for because it's very short. This one I've also heard a lot of really good reviews for. It's sapphic, and I think it's cannibals, if I remember correctly. I think it's cannibals, which, listen, I don't love cannibals in real life, but cannibals in fiction, I weirdly really enjoy. Also, I love this cover. I think that the cover of this book is so beautiful. Question number 4 is an author you won't be reading anymore from this year, and I have 2, and these aren't like 100% I will never read from them. I just have no plans to read from them. The first one is Jasmine Guillory. I read a novella from her at the end of last year, and I just didn't vibe with it. I didn't really love the writing style. I didn't think that the romance was compelling at all, so I don't have any plans to pick up any of her full-length novels. And then the other one, which may be controversial, please don't shoot me, is Lauren Roberts. I read Powerless last year, and I did not like that book at all. I'm so sorry. I know so many people love that book. I know it is like one of the darlings of BookTok right now, but like I didn't like it. I've read so many YA fantasy books that feel really similar to this that I just think were done better. I have no plans on, at the very least, picking up any more in the Powerless series. If she comes out with something completely different, then maybe I'd be inclined to pick it up, but right now I just have no plans to read anything from her. Question 5 is something new you want to read this year, genres or tropes, and I kind of touched on this earlier when I was talking about Bloom, but I want to read more horror this year. I've always had an interest in horror books. I've just never really found ones that particularly appeal to me, but I've been slowly growing my horror collection over the last year or so, and I have quite a few that I am actually really excited about. So I'm not going to become a horror reader all of a sudden, but I definitely want to dip my toes into the genre this year. Question 6 is a popular book you want to read this year, and I have talked about this book in my top books to read, but I couldn't think of anything else that's like this popular right now, and it's Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Fantasy romance, fae, cover that I don't like, so we'll ignore that, but yeah, I don't know anything beyond fantasy romance, fae, I think enemies to lovers, maybe. I just know that it's super popular. I really want to read a lot of fantasy romance right now, so yeah, this is the only one I could think of. Question 7 is most anticipated 2025 book release, and I have gone through this as well in my last video, which was my anticipated releases for 2025, but I thought I would just mention my kind of top 3, because also one of them has had a cover release since I filmed that video. So I have Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, I have Kiss the Villain, and then Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. The cover for Beautiful Venom has been released and I am obsessed with it. I think it is so gorgeous. So it will be on the screen here so you can see it. But yeah, those are my top 3 for 2025. Question 8 is a bookish goal for 2025. So I have 3, but 2 of them are kind of similar-ish. The first one is to make content on my YouTube channel. I am having so much fun making YouTube videos this year. I love rambling about books. It is my favorite thing. So yeah, I want to try and actually, you know, commit to making content this year. And then the 2 that are actually reading specific is read more outside of my comfort zone. So read horror, I want to try and read some like more mystery thrillers, literary fiction maybe, which will be wild because I'm not a literary fiction reader at all. But tying into that, I just want to read whatever I want to read. I think I felt some pressure to like read certain things or like enjoy certain books even when they're not really my taste. And I think last year, while it wasn't my best reading year in terms of number of books that I've read, the quality of the books that I've read in terms of my enjoyment was the best I think I've ever had. So I want to carry that energy into 2025 and just read what I want to read what I think is going to make me happy, and yeah, just kind of screw anything else. Question 9 is a book that's on your TBR that you don't think you'll ever read. Now, I actually really struggled with this one. I was staring at my shelves for a really long time because I had quite a brutal unhaul last year before I moved, and I got rid of like a load of books. So mostly my books here are books that I actually am excited to read or that I really love. The only one that I could find that is a potential is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. The reason I don't think I'm going to read this is because I have been spoiled. I haven't watched the film. I've never watched the film. But I'm pretty sure I've been spoiled for like the plot twist in this book. So I think if I'm ever going to consume this, I'm probably just going to watch the film and not commit the time to read the book. But never say never, like there is still a chance that I will end up picking this up. Question 10 is a series you want to read this year. And this, I have a lot of series I need to read this year. I'm in the middle of loads, but my friend just bought me these books for Christmas. So these are now really high on my priority list. But it is the Gods and Monsters series by Amber V. Nicole. I have the first 3 books. I believe this is going to be a 7-book series and book 4 is coming out this year. So I kind of want to read these 3 before book 4 comes out. We'll see how it goes. From what I know, this is a dark fantasy romance series. I believe it's also urban fantasy, which I didn't realize. I think I heard that somewhere. Again, could be entirely wrong. I'm kind of going into this blind. I just heard dark fantasy romance and I went, I'm in. Question 11 is my auto by authors going into 2025. And I have 3 here. I think I've mentioned 2 of these in previous videos. 1 I haven't. The first one is V.E. Schwab. I mentioned it in my anticipated releases video, but I love V.E. Schwab. She is an author that I've read basically all of her books from, and even the ones that I haven't read are still ones that I am planning to read. It's not like I just don't have any interest in, so I haven't read them. I really love the way that she builds characters and worlds, and so even if some of her stuff hasn't been my favorite, I'm still always really excited to pick up her new releases. The other one that I've talked about, I'm sure everyone at this point is probably sick of me mentioning her, but it's Rena Kent. I mentioned her earlier in this video. I've mentioned her in every single video. I love Rena Kent. I will read whatever she puts out. I also want to get into her backlist this year, so anything Rena Kent, I will be reading. And then my last one is Stephanie Garber. I haven't mentioned Stephanie Garber on my channel yet, but she is an author that I really love. I've read the Caraval trilogy and I've also read the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, and I loved both of them. And I'm pretty sure she's either got something coming out this year or she's announcing something. And whatever it is, I will be picking it up. I love her books. They are fairy tale, whimsical, beautiful writing, super descriptive. I love her worlds and I will pick up anything she writes. Question 12 is one that I actually don't have an answer for, and it's a book to movie or book to show adaptation you're excited for in 2025. I am so out of the sphere of what's getting adapted that I literally have none. So if there's any coming up that I have missed, then cool, but there's none that I can think of off the top of my head. Question 13 is a sequel you're anticipating. So I have one that I don't think is coming. I have one that I'm not sure if it's coming out this year, and that is Beasts of the Briar Book 5 by Elizabeth Helen. I know that they're currently writing it, so the chances of it coming out in 2025 are maybe low because it's not finished yet, but I just have my fingers crossed. I really, really want book 5. And then the other one is not, the book is already out, but I want the audiobook, and it's Little Liar by Lee Rivers. I mentioned in my book haul, I think it was, that I read Little Liar in December and I loved it, and the audiobook was phenomenal, like the best audiobook I've ever listened to. And so while Little Liar is out and I could technically read it now, I am waiting for the audiobook for me to be able to actually, you know, complete this duology. I want to take a second just to address my t-shirt because I just got this today. It is my Selkirk shirt from Arcane, and I am obsessed with this shirt. I can't see myself wearing anything else anytime soon. Like, look at this. It's amazing. It's so good. I got it from AliExpress, which I don't normally shop on AliExpress. I made an exception for this shirt, but I got this one, I got a Civica one, and I got a Victor one. I just wanted to take a quick intermission to just show off my Selkirk shirt. Back to the questions. Question 14 is bookish things you're reading in 2024. One I have, which I have got better about, but something I'm leaving in 2024 is not DNFing books. I have sort of got better about it, but I do have this weird thing where once I've started a book, if I've got like at least 100 pages in, I feel like I have to finish it. Even though I don't, no one's holding a gun to my head. I can put it down, but I feel like I have to finish it. And I want to leave that behind because I only want to be reading books that I'm actually enjoying or in the mood for. Sometimes I DNF books because I'm just not in the mood for it, not because it's a bad book. So I'll come back to it later, but I still feel guilty for doing it. And I don't want that energy in 2025. Another one is being scared of big books. I'm getting better about it. I'm kind of getting over my fear of reading big books. I read 3 Stormlight books last year, but there is still this like inherent fear of picking up a book that's over like 800 pages. I want to get past that because a lot of my favorite books end up being really, really big books. So there's no logical reason for me to fear a big book. The last one, I think I touched on this in an earlier one, but it's not pressuring myself to read certain things or in certain ways. I feel this weird thing. I think because I have a lot of physical books, I sometimes feel guilty for reading on my Kindle, which is stupid because I'm still reading the books. It doesn't matter how I'm reading them. The format doesn't matter, but I still sometimes feel bad for not, you know, reading from my physical collection. So yeah, I want to just read whatever books I want, read them however I want, whether that's physical, ebook, audio, and just enjoy what I'm reading in 2025. Question 15 is what to expect from this account in 2025. And the only thing I have is content. I actually want to post. I want to try and post 1 video a week. Also have a couple of like more vlog style things I want to try and get to in 2025. We'll see if it ends up happening, but definitely 1 video a week and maybe some vlog type content coming maybe soon. Question 16 is how has your reading taste evolved from last year? The main thing is, and this isn't a permanent thing, this is more so just the mood I'm in, but I've become much more of a fantasy romance reader and less of a contemporary romance reader. For the last like 5 years, contemporary romance has been one of my most read genres easily, but like by far every year. But towards the end of 2024, I think I just burnt myself out, and so I just haven't been in the mood to read contemporary romances. Like I said, I think that is more so just a mood thing, and I'm sure that that will come back in 2025. But yeah, right now all I want to read is either fantasy romance or like epic, big, chunky fantasy. That's all I'm really in the mood for right now. Okay, and then the last question I have, question 17, is booktube creators who inspire you. I am such a big booktube watcher. I'm a booktube lover. It's my favorite thing to watch on YouTube. So these are just a couple of the creators that I'm really, really loving right now, but there is loads more. So I have Becca from Becca and the Books. She has been one of my faves for years. I absolutely love her. Then I have Gavin from Gavin Reads It All, an icon, the king of booktube, if you will. I have Larry Reads, who did this tag. Larry is like a more recent discovery for me in the last like year or so, and I'm obsessed with her videos. I watch every single one of them. I absolutely love her personality. She's amazing. I have, of course, Kayla from Books and Lala. She's been like a comfort YouTuber for me for like 6 years, so she has to be there. Carrie Can Read is a more recent one. I love watching her monthly wrap-up videos. She always has like really interesting book recommendations. The last one is Jodie from Vanilla Moon. I find her videos so cozy and comforting. But yeah, those were the 17 questions that I have to answer today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned some more about my reading taste and my goals and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you liked this video, please feel free to give it a like and maybe subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you in a new video soon. Bye!